Greetings, this is Reggie Middleton. This is going to be one of potentially many live casts that I do. As I walk around conducting business, thinking, pontificating, a lot of interesting thoughts about the macro environment, fundamentals, companies, sectors, etc. come to mind. And I figured, a lot of these thoughts would be useful if potential clients, customers, analysts, etc. were to hear it, investors. Unfortunately, it's not inside my head, but you don't get to hear it. So what I've decided to do was to put about 60 to 90-second clips together just to congeal what's going through the head and publish it via YouTube, off the site, etc., Facebook, a few freebies. So here we go. This is number one. I'd like to discuss what I call the great global macro experiment. Think of Dr. Frankenstein, this mad scientist in Central Western Europe who decided to stitch a bunch of dead people together, shove electricity inside of them, see if we could bring them back to life. He basically tried to create something out of nothing. Well, that's what the central bankers of the world are doing. I find it to be a failed experiment. Japan has been going through this great macro experiment through QE1 through QE ad infinitum for over 30 years now, still battling deflation, stagflation, and weak consumer prices, deflation, etc. Now, as Japan goes through the QE and ZERP and NERP, and China institutes the same thing, massive QE, bailing out profligate banks, etc., they put a lot of pressure on other sectors, the US and Europe, ECB, the European Monetary Union. So the ECB finally caught on last year, and they implemented their own QE program and their own ZERP policy, which also became a NERP policy with negative interest rates. I believe NERP is nonsense. It's guaranteed not to work. Negative interest rates are basically a bane to capitalism. It's the anti-capitalism. In other words, I borrow money from you, but you have to pay me money because rates are negative. They're inverted. So the ECB has implemented a massive QE program, buying up bonds, basically buying anything, trying to drive prices up. They are competing with Asia, Japan and China, very, very large economies. Basically, this is bigger than neighbor. So if you go to veritasium.com website, look at the analysis section and the heading and do a search for currency wars, you'll see what happens when you attempt to go ZERP, zero interest rate policy. You're basically trying to export inflation and unemployment to your neighbor. And so since China, Japan, and the ECB have undergone their own ZERP / QE, the US, which is the king of the ZERP QE battle lords, has decided to do the same. Now remember, everybody's expecting the US to raise interest rates because they said they would be expecting interest rate raise, et cetera, blase, blase. But the banks, the big money center banks, cannot afford an interest rate raise. Yes, if you raise interest rates, they get more profit, expanded their interest margin, but the trash is on the balance sheet that the Federal Reserve hasn't bought will be devalued even more, significantly. Now, that problem was supposedly saved from 2008 and 2009. Everybody thinks so, but the banks know better. And the banks will be afraid to trade with each other as rates go up. That's a guarantee. Those who don't believe me, think about it. When have rates been raised? They were supposed to have been raised every quarter for the past 6 to 8 quarters. Now, if you take a look at the San Francisco Fed, you can see that the academics there, where Janet Yellen comes from, they're already making an argument of the natural equilibrium interest rate, which is negative, of course. So they're making an academic argument to drop rates and implement QE4 or QE5. I can't even keep up with it. This is at a time when everybody's expecting rates to rise. Again, 2007, 2008, 2009, or say starting 2008, 2009, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We've had zero interest rates, negative interest rates, QE1, QE2, QE3, potentially QE4. We still have stagnant to negative growth. The problem hasn't been solved. You look over to the inventor of quantitative easing, Japan, over 32 years, same problem. So, as Albert Einstein, apparently rather intelligent man, once said, the definition of insanity is when you keep trying the same thing, but expect a different result.